with that down, let's talk about the final topic. And the final topic for this is, and here's a message. If you take anything from this message, take this one. Keep your DVDs. Keep your DVDs, keep your Blu-rays, keep your physical media. Because more and more we are seeing censorship taking over things and removing our entertainment and things that you like to watch from streaming services. Now then, the latest victim, well, I don't know if it's a victim, but the latest example of media being taken away is actually 30 Rock. 4 episodes of the classic, I say that kind of sarcastically because I honestly don't really watch 30 Rock. I've only seen like a few episodes, to be perfectly honest, and it's okay. But there are going to be 4 episodes of 30 Rock removed because there is blackface at Tina Fey's request. Now, I have not seen these episodes. I do not know the context of the blackface. I believe that if done tastefully, and if you're using it to make a point, I believe you're allowed to do whatever you want in the sake of comedy. I mean, you can definitely do it and screw up. And maybe they did. Maybe these episodes were just that offensive. But it really depends how it's used. For the record, not a lot of good reason to use blackface, because it takes a very, very clever person to use it and actually make it work, and that's not very many people. That's really not very many people. But here's the bigger issue that's going on right now. 30 Rock is removing episodes, and they will no longer be available in reruns or streaming form. And this is not the first time this has happened with a TV show. You might agree with this one, by the way. You might agree that these episodes should be pulled. I personally have the opinion nothing should be pulled, nothing should be censored. Contextualize it if you must, but once you start pulling things, you enter a very, very, very slippery slope. And I say this as someone who has had episodes of TV shows that I like removed, like, for example, the Stark Raving Dad episode from The Simpsons, which was pulled because Michael Jackson guest stars in it. Don't agree with that. Never have, never will. So, what Tina Fey says is, as we strive to do the work and do better in regards to race in America, we believe that these episodes featuring actors in race-changing makeup are best taken out of circulation. Fey wrote a letter to the platforms. I understand now that intent is not a free pass for white people to use these images. Well, it's not, but, well, that's probably a bigger topic. I believe you can do whatever you want. It's a free country. And hey, if it completely backfires and you lose your career because you do it, that's on you. I apologize for the pain they have caused going forward. No comedy-loving kid needs to stumble on these tropes and be stung by their ugliness. I thank NBC Universal for honoring this quest. Well, it's interesting that she says no comedy-loving kid needs to stumble upon these tropes, because if they don't stumble upon these tropes, they might not know that they're offensive and why they're offensive. And again, I don't know the context of what 30 Rock was doing, so I don't know how to defend this too much other than to say that I don't think you should be censoring things. I do not think you should be censoring things. It's just, in fact, let me pull up a couple articles to emphasize my point, because we are entering an era where we're getting a little out of control. Everything is offensive these days, and I'm looking for a specific article here, but I think it's this one. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm losing focus here. Sorry about that, folks. Because once you start taking things away and you start putting warnings on things, especially something that recent, then it kind of gives leeway to censor and remove anything else. If you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, here's a article that Variety wrote. 10 problematic films that could use warning labels. Well, there's Dirty Harry. Why? Because the film mocks liberal judges and do-gooders, and the villain claims police brutality, planting the seed that other charges are fake moves to get sympathy. Forrest Gump. Why? Because Forrest is named, the title character is named after Nathan Bedford Forrest, who was named after his grandfather, the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Might I add, the whole point of him being named after the Ku Klux Klan leader was because his mom wanted to remind him that sometimes people do things that just don't make a whole lot of sense sometimes. You have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where, they're stereotyping Indians who pull hearts out of chests, because we all know that's something Indians do, right? Me Before You, it normalizes suicide. Interestingly, so basically the movie presents the idea that suicide is better than a life with disability. Admittingly, I'm offended by that. I had issues with that movie for that reason, but I wouldn't tell other people they can't watch it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that's not even a year old. Based on a controversial depiction of Bruce Lee. No, it wasn't controversial. Bruce Lee's daughter had an issue with it, and I don't think she's necessarily a great judge of, subtlety. I think she's too close to this topic to basically be able to say that. And it's even starting because, look, Sky TV is actually warning people, giving trigger warnings to movies that might have problems. Like, look at this, Aladdin. This film has outdated attitudes, language, and cultural depictions which may cause offense today. Today, this movie came out 1 year ago. Just one. And it's already offensive. They've also put warnings. Interesting. They have Sky 3D. It's nice that they still have 3D on demand. But they've also put warnings in front of movies like The Goonies and the live-action Jungle Book and The Jungle Book and Breakfast at Tiffany's, which makes a little bit more sense, and Flash Gordon. Aliens. Like, they put a warning in front of Aliens because I don't know. But this just cracks me up. But are we really surprised at this point? Look, we're starting to remove episodes of TV shows. We have technically already removed Gone with the Wind, although it is coming back with a contextualizing intro, and I think that's good. Movies that are 80-year-olds, you probably need to contextualize them. But I'm getting a little concerned because, again, I don't know what episodes of 30 Rock they are. I don't know what the Blackface was about. I don't know if it was justified. I don't know if it was funny. I don't know any of that. What I am saying is this is a very, very, very slippery slope. Like I said, they had that article. They were encouraging putting warning labels in front of Forrest Gump and Indiana Jones. Well, what happens if that's not enough in the future? And they say, hey, the Americans with Disabilities Association, the same people who are fining Uber and Lyft for being discriminatory, even though I don't think they actually are now saying, maybe we should, that movie's offensive to people with disabilities, you need to remove it. Like, where does it end? So I'm getting very, very concerned about where reconnection successful. Okay, so apparently now I am reconnected, so sorry that we lost you for a moment. But anyway, I think it's definitely a problem. It's a very, very slippery slope. I wish it wouldn't happen. But anyway, I would like to, of course, ask your questions. What do you think? Do you believe these episodes should be removed from circulation? Do you believe they shouldn't? Do you believe the trigger warnings are enough? Or do you think that they're kind of silly? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly.